Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons baseball on 104.3 960 Sports and on MyBasin.com. Today, the Falcons back out onto the road in the Rogue Valley as they take on the Salem WellCare Dodgers here at Harry and David Field in Medford. My name is Josh Eldridge. Alongside me tonight is Walter Hartley as we get ready for a single game of tournament action here at beautiful Harry and David Field. It's a little bit smoky here in the Rogue Valley, but it won't shy away Falcons from playing a little bit of America's pastime this afternoon. We're going to step aside here for 2 minutes, and when we come back, we'll introduce you to the starting lineup for both of our teams as we near first pitch today on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
What are the best words you can hear tonight?
Order ready for Susan.
And if you hear those words at Abby's, you know it's going to be a legendary meal. Your pizza is loaded with toppings to the edge, premium ingredients, and real cheese. Yeah, baby. Gather with friends, play some video games, and watch the big game on TV. That's made Abby's a legendary pizza tradition for generations. And when you're ready to hear those magic words,
Tom, your order's ready.
you know where to go. You're always welcome at Abby's.
There's something special about this place. It's more than the quiet mornings and the open skies. It's more than the scenery. It's the people. Around here, people still wave when you pass by. They check in when something's wrong. They show up when it matters. At Sage Credit Union, we're proud to live and work in a region that believes in each other. A place where neighbors lend a hand, small businesses thrive, and generosity runs deep. We believe that being part of a community means giving back to it, not just with dollars, but with time, effort, and heart. That's why our employees earn paid volunteer time. That's why you'll see us at food drives, fundraisers, and the local fair. We show up for our community. This isn't just where we work. This is where we live, where we give, and where we grow. Right here, in the coffee shop, at the fundraiser, and in our local branch. At Sage Credit Union, we've found our people. We'll see you around town.
At Pacific Power, we can't predict the future, but we're preparing for every possibility. With more extreme weather year-round, we're investing in an energy system ready for what comes next. By strengthening the grid, using smart infrastructure, and drawing from our diverse energy resources, we're not just powering today. We're designing an energy system that's built to weather tomorrow. Energy that makes powering your greatness possible.
Josh Eldridge and Walter Hartley back with you for more Falcons baseball today on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. The Falcons enter play today with an overall record of 31-3, winners of their last 13 consecutive ball games, including a doubleheader sweep last night of Grants Pass, a pair of 10-0 wins for the Salem Dodgers coming into play today. They are 4-17 here on the season, including a loss earlier at this tournament earlier today, a 29-0 loss against the Hooks. They also played that team last night, fell to them there, but they did grab wins as recently on Tuesday against the Mid-Coast Dungeons. The Dodgers getting their first look against Harley Hoblet on the hill today for the Falcons. First pitch swinging and a base hit up the middle for Caden Knoll to lead off the ball game. Caden Knoll is the right fielder today for the Dodgers. He's followed in the order by Jake Smith, the second baseman. Damon Lawrence is in center field batting third. Tanner Antone is the first baseman hitting cleanup. Jackson Riddell is at shortstop batting fifth. Hitting sixth is Chess Lewer, the catcher. Nolan Ricks is at third base batting seventh. Hitting eighth is Colin Spurgeon, the pitcher. Keanu Miller is in left field batting ninth, and they've got an extra hitter listed on the order today. Cole Bartels is batting 10th today for the Dodgers as Harley Hoblet delivers the first pitch with a runner on, and Smith swings and misses at that one. As we take a look at the weather here in Medford today, 83 degrees and very smoky, and it's certainly starting to settle in here at Harry and David Field. The air quality was in question as early as just minutes before first pitch today on it seemingly whether or not we'd play this game, but well, here we are, and a chopper towards the left side. Takini plays it on a hop, throws to Teeters for one, down to Meyer at first, and Smith beats out the back end of a double play, reaches on a fielder's choice. There's one out in the inning, and it brings up Damon Lawrence. Harley Hoblet, the left-hander on the hill today for the Falcons. We'll try to give you a statistical outlook on Harley as he gets ready to face the left-handed hitter Damon Lawrence. Showing bunt at first and now pulling back. Hoblet delivers the pitch, And it is going to miss wide. The count is 1-0. Harley on the season making his second start. It's his fourth overall appearance. He's got a 1-0 record in 5 innings pitched this year. He's allowed 4 hits, no runs. He's struck out 3 batters. He gets a swing and a miss there. The count is even to Damon Lawrence. 1 ball and 1 strike to Harley. He was talking to me a little bit before the game today. Said, Josh, we got the Cuban Missile on the mound today. I said, is that you? Are we trying to get a nickname over for you? And he said, yeah, that's what we're going with. That's what we're going to call me. So that's, I guess, a self-earned nickname out there for Harley. He wants to be called the Cuban Missile. So we're going to roll with it, see how it goes.
I like it.
I like it, too. Why not? That pitch misses low and away, and it allows a runner to move up a station as well. Jake Smith now into scoring position, top of the first inning. The Dodgers today from Salem wearing their teal tops, white pants today for the Dodgers. The Falcons this afternoon in their blue tops and gray pants and their typical blue caps with the red brim. Counts 2 balls and a strike to Damon Lawrence, a .412 hitter for the Dodgers this season. Here's the pitch from Hoblet, goes off speed, and the bunt is pushed foul. And there's 2 strikes on the center fielder for Salem. Lawrence, like I said, second on the team in hitting, that .412 average, supplemented by leading the team in singles. Not a guy who racks up the extra base hits as much, but 13 of his 14 hits have been singles this year in 44 plate appearances. Here's the 2-2 pitch coming home to Lawrence. A curveball looked at for strike 3, and Lawrence is punched out for the second out in this first inning. And it brings up Tanner Antone here for the Dodgers. Antone attends South Salem High School in the prep season. And this season for the Dodgers bats .213. Now with 2 gone and a runner in scoring position, Harley Hoblet trying to keep the Dodgers off the board here in this first. We'll introduce you to the starting lineup for the Falcons in the bottom half of the first inning, but the defense after this first pitch to Antone. The left-hander Hoblet comes set for a while, thought about moving over to second, but now delivers home on a pitch that misses outside. Throw down to third is airmailed over to Keeney's head into left field, and that's going to score a run as Smith scores on the error from the catcher, and 1 run is in. The Dodgers take a first-inning lead against the Falcons. Jacoby Takini, the catcher. Colin Takini at third. Carson Sims is at short with Ty Teeters at second. Ian Meyer at first. Chase Barrett in left. Corbin Hamilton in center. And Trustin Thomas is in right. The 1-0 pitch to Antone misses upstairs. He works ahead of Hoblet. 2 balls, no strikes. Antone, despite being a .213 hitter, does fare pretty well in the RBI category. He ranks 3rd most on the team this year. So not an RBI spot for him anymore, but he is working ahead in a hitter's count against Harley Hoblet. The pitch in, 3-0, is called a strike. Hoblet dials back the velocity a little bit to push one across, and count is 3-1. Harley now delivers the 3-1 pitch, gets a swing and a miss on that one, and after falling behind 3-0, now just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. As Antone settles back in, on deck is Jackson Riddell for the Dodgers. Here's the pitch from Hoblet. He goes on the outside corner and gets strike 3, looking back-to-back Ks here in the first inning. But the Dodgers do score a run on the error. They lead the Falcons 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the first half next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The Klamath Basin is a great place. The Klamath Basin is a great place to be. We here at Basin Media Active have been supporting this community for many years, keeping it entertained and informed with friendly faces and familiar voices. You can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, stream live local sports, and check out our community calendar all on our website, mybasin.com. And you can download our app for free in your app store right now. Basin Media Active, local, community, engaged.
Getting set for the bottom half of the first inning, and the Falcons trail the Salem Dodgers 1-0. Colin Spurgeon on the hill for Salem today. He'll be going up against a Falcons order that goes like this. Carson Sims is the shortstop. He's leading off today. Corbin Hamilton, the center fielder, bats second. Jacoby Takini is the catcher. He's batting third, followed by the cleanup hitting first baseman Ian Meyer. Colin Takini bats fifth. He's at third base today. The designated hitter, P.J. Safford, hits sixth. Batting 7th is Trustin Thomas in right field. Ty Teeters is the second baseman. He bats 8th. And hitting 9th is Chase Barrett in left field today for the Falcons. The right-hander Colin Spurgeon wrapping up his warm-up tosses for Salem. This is his second start of the year. He pitched 2.2 previous innings in an earlier outing, 5 hits allowed, 3 runs scored. They were all earned. He did not surrender a walk, and he struck out 3 batters, but a small sample size for him. He only faced 12 batters in that start. Be curious exactly what went wrong for him, and only 12 batters and not allowing that many runs. 3 runs in 3 innings isn't too bad. It was back on July 5th, so not all that long ago was Spurgeon's first start of the year, and he gets his second nod today against the Falcons. This is not the first meeting between these two teams, although it is the first this season. These two teams played in a doubleheader last year at Sprague High School, where the Dodgers call home, and the Falcons took a pair in a doubleheader from Salem last year. This one is hit into the air to the left side. Sims sends one to Miller, but that one is going to be called off by the center fielder, Lawrence. And 1 pitch and 1 gone here in the first inning. This Dodgers team has improved markedly from last year's squad. They're 4-17 this year, and although that might not seem like much of an improvement, a team that was winless a year ago, by this point in the month of July, they were 0-22, and I believe they finished winless on the season last year. So being able to find ways to win ball games this season is a marked improvement for them.
Yeah, I was looking over the last year's roster that played against them at this time last year. It's pretty much the same Falcons team.
Yeah, a lot of the same kids from the Falcons. They've grown up and improved quite a bit as well. You're right about that.
Yeah, Carson Sims led off for them last year as well.
Count is 1-0 here to Corbin Hamilton, who's starting in center field today for the Falcons. Here's the pitch from Spurgeon. That one is hit foul. And the count is even at a ball and a strike. Jacoby Takini is due up next. Talked about the Falcons' previous efforts, 13 straight wins coming into tonight, including the 2 10-0 wins last night at Kiger Stadium against the Grants Pass Nuggets as a curveball. I think that missed. No, that was called a strike. A ball and 2 strikes. The count to Hamilton, who, by the way, wanted to finish up the thought on him, had an extra base hit last night and finished with an RBI in the nightcap against Grants Pass. The 1-2 is hit foul. Hamilton putting up a good fight here. A ball and 2 strikes on the season for him. One of the team's best hitters, batting .430 on the year. And here comes up empty, chasing the high fastball. If there's any kryptonite, it's that for Hamilton as he goes down as the second out here in the first inning. Brings up Jacoby Takini, who is second on the team in batting this season. Hits .472 for the Falcons. Bats now with nobody on and 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, a game in which the Falcons trailed the Dodgers 1-0. Curveball dropped in for a strike from Spurgeon, started inside and stayed inside against Takini. Not a bad take, but a better first pitch strike from Spurgeon as he continues to work out of the windup here with 2 outs in the inning. Pitch on the way, another curveball misses upstairs. Count is 1-1 to Takini with Ian Meyer due up next. Spurgeon from Woodburn High School as he gets ready to deliver to Jacoby. Here's the pitch. That one misses low, and the count is 2 balls and a strike.
Yesterday in their second game against the Nuggets, Jacoby Takini went 3 for 4 at the plate with no strikeouts.
Yeah, 2 doubles as well, a couple RBIs. Just last night across both games is one of the best we've seen from him on the offensive and defensive end. Hoping to continue that trend today as that one gets popped up foul. And the count is 2-2 to Jacoby Takini. Trying to find a way aboard here. All right, he's ready to go. Spurgeon delivers the pitch, the 2-2. Curveball, Takini rolls one to the left side, past the diving glove of Riddell and into left field. And a 1-out single for the Falcons, and Jacoby Takini, a 2-out single, brings up Ian Meyer as he tries to keep this inning alive. Meyer, a guy you like to have up with runners on, .515 hitter this season, and continues to just impress everyone who watches him this year.
What's his on-base percentage?
Right now it is .551, which is second best on the team.
It's kind of crazy that his on-base percentage really isn't that much higher than his batting average.
Yeah, he's only got 6 walks this year, which is actually pretty crazy. 6 walks and 51 hits. Move over to first. Back safely is Max Rogers over there running for the Falcons. Now, both of these teams, by the way, state tournament bound in their own right as Meyer pops one up foul. Count is 0-1. The Salem Dodgers will be attending the AAA state tournament, which is to be played here in Medford, hosted by the Mustangs. And then, of course, the Falcons, with their wins last night, punched their ticket to the Single A tournament, which will be at North Bend High School. That pitch misses low and away in the other batter's box against Meyer. The count's even to Ian, with Colin Takini due up next. Spurgeon now working out of the stretch, moves over to first, and Max Rogers is back safely. Rogers has got speed, we know that for sure. Hasn't been able to rack up the stolen bases as much, but he has scored a bunch of runs. 29 runs scored this season, as he's typically used as a courtesy runner. Here Meyer flies one over to right field. It gets down in the corner and right and will be extra bases. Rogers is going to score all the way from first, and Meyer is going to leg out a 2-out triple. No error applied there. That's going to go in as a triple for Meyer, and the Falcons tie the game 1-1. Couldn't quite see that ball all the way in the corner out there, but our official score today saying that's a triple for Meyer and an RBI at that. And so the Falcons and the Dodgers are tied at 1. Brings up Colin Takini, an RBI opportunity for him.
Yeah, good stuff from Ian. Now he's there on third. Any base hit will probably score him.
Takini takes a strike there on the outer third, falls behind 0-1 for Ian today. And on the season, that's his first triple of the year. The count is 0-1. And that one is going to be called a strike right around the knees on the outside part against Colin. The count is 0-2 to him, trying to find a way on base with P.J. Safford to do up next. The 0-2 on the way from Spurgeon is going to miss low and away, and Takini sticks around to see at least one more. Colin on the year, a .363 hitter. 11 doubles on the season for him, 28 RBI. Here's the 1-2 from Spurgeon. Now back out of the windup with the runner at third. Takini lifts one into the air to the right side. Back is Guerin. Back a few steps, but he's able to make the catch and end the inning. The Falcons get their 1 run back, though, as we tie it up in the bottom half of the first inning on the RBI triple from Ian Meyer. Back with the top half of the second next on mybasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Rob, why do you think so many families choose Subaru here?
Because they're built for real life here in Southern Oregon.
All-wheel drive, safety, and room for everything from kids to camping gear.
And we've got Subarus in stock, ready to go when you are.
Plus, we're locally owned and deeply involved in the community.
When you buy from us, you buy from a dealership that supports Klamath Falls. Stop by and say hi.
Friendly, local, and easy to work with. That's us at Klamath Falls Subaru, right on Washburn Way.
Five, 6, and 7 do up this half inning for the Dodgers against the Klamath Falls Falcons. It's a 1-1 ball game. Top of the second inning. Jackson Riddell, Chess Lewer, and Nolan Ricks do up this half inning against Harley Hoblet. He gave up a run in the first inning, although it was unearned. The run scored on an error. And so hoping to continue to work hard here for Harley. Not a guy who gets a lot of starting pitching opportunities, but excited to see him work today as this one is lifted to left field, and Barrett slipped on his way back to go get to the baseball, and that's going to wind up with extra bases for Riddell. He turns around second, but they'll keep him there. And an unfortunate turn for the Falcons as Barrett just couldn't quite get his feet under him searching for that fly ball. And it's a leadoff double for the Dodgers, bringing up Chess Lewer.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier. It must be kind of difficult to track those fly balls with the smoke. The baseball is white. The smoke in the air, if you're looking up, is white.
Yeah.
You lose it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and that might be the easiest part to deal with the smoke, let alone the breathing and the having burning in your eyes all the time. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but after a leadoff double, the Dodgers a chance to reclaim the lead. Top of the second inning. First pitch to Ches Lewer is taken low for a ball. Count is 1-0 to him. Lewer, a product of Sandium Christian High School. The 1-0 on the way from Hoblet is taken for a strike right around the knees on the inside corner, and the count is even to the Dodgers catcher. Lewer on the season is a .421 hitter. Although a little bit of a smaller sample size than the rest of his Dodger teammates, he's only played in 9 of the 13 games and has about half as many ABs as the next guys on his squad. Here he bounces one foul down the third base side. Count is 1-2. He's got a couple of doubles, 6 singles, 4 runs scored. Only 1 RBI this season so far for Lewer. But a chance at one here with nobody out in the top of the second inning and a runner in scoring position. On deck is Nolan Ricks for the Dodgers. All right. Hoblet back and ready to go. He gets set to deliver the 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. That one is hit. Another chance for Barrett in left, but instead Sims is the one who goes back, and he makes the catch from the shortstop position, and there is one gone here in the second inning.
Good hustle from Sims to get all the way out there into shallow left field. Looked like Barrett might have been able to make the play either way, so good hustle for both of them.
Carson Sims made a radio appearance on the K-Lad Wake Up Crew this morning, joined by a couple of his teammates, P.J. Safford and Jacoby Tacchini. They're trying to raise some money for the upcoming state tournament as Nolan Ricks gets ready to settle in. Hoblet steps off, wants a new signal. But in years past, state tournament has been close enough to where the Falcons can travel to and from in their bus every day. But this year, with it being on the coast, having to raise some funds for food and hotel rooms and experiences and things of that nature. So on Sunday night, the Falcons game against Central Point has also been kind of a quasi-youth baseball night as well. Youth get in for free for kids under 12. Want to encourage families to come out and support the Falcons as they try to raise some money ahead of their state tournament road trip. The 0-1 pitch on the way to Nolan Ricks, but he steps out as Hoblet took a while to pitch. Ricks called time. But I believe there's also going to be a 50-50 raffle going on Sunday, and a chance to just make a monetary donation, a flat giving for the Falcons there as well. So the tournament begins for Klamath Falls on Wednesday as we've got a meeting on the mound for Coach Craig Connor and the Falcons infield. Tournament begins on Wednesday for the Falcons. They're going to have to leave on Tuesday. It's an early game, it looks like, on Wednesday. So a lot of things going on, and as always, you can stay up to date on what's going on our website and on the Facebook page, Klamath Falls Falcons Baseball, if you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on with their travel and things like that. It's an 0-1 count to Nolan Ricks as we get ready for this at-bat to continue. Coach Connor going out just to have a quick chat with Harley Hoblet, but it looks like no changes for the Falcons here. Runner at second is Jackson Riddell. There's one out, and Ricks has got a strike on him. The lefty Hoblet looks in, gets the signal from Tacchini, now comes set, and delivers the pitch. And that one is going to miss outside, probably low as well. 1-1. Maybe Connor trying to offer up Harley to just work a little bit quicker out there, not let those batters call time against you. Pitch on the way from Hoblet. Off speed, swung over the top of, and Ricks has got 2 strikes on him with 1 out in the second inning. Colin Spurgeon, the pitcher, is on deck. Decent lead out at second for Riddell. Not too much, though. Teeters is in the neighborhood, trying to keep him close. And the 2-strike pitch home is going to miss upstairs, 2-2. Ricks on the season for Salem is a .067 hitter. And he swings and misses at strike 3, a pitch in the dirt. Tacchini applies the tag, and there's 2 outs in the second. And it brings up Colin Spurgeon, the pitcher. I thought it was supposed to be Spurgeon. It looks like, I see, Cole Bartels, the listed EH, is actually hitting in the spot of the pitcher. And so there we go. Here's Cole Bartels, the DH, batting here in the 8th spot. It's 2 outs in the inning, and the pitch is going to miss low. The count is 1-0. Taking a look at Bartels this season, 324 hitter, good for third best on the team. Majority of his hits have been singles, though. A couple of doubles this year. And an RBI opportunity with 2 outs in the 2nd. Here's the pitch from Harley Hoblet. That's waved at and missed. Looked like an inside breaking pitch. And the count is even 1-1 to Bartels, with Keanu Miller due up next. All right. Hoblet looking in. Comes set out there as he gets the sign from Tacchini. Quick operation out there as he pops this one up in the infield. Hoblet comes off the mound and sets down Bartels for the 3rd out in the inning. And after the leadoff double, it won't come back to bite the Falcons as they keep the tie intact. Headed to the bottom of the 2nd inning next on mybasin.com.
When your care feels complicated, you need someone who won't back away. At Heartfelt, they are known for taking on the cases others won't. Complex, high-risk, and deeply personal situations that deserve real attention. They specialize in minimally invasive procedures, helping you heal faster and get back to your life, your family, your work. And they are here for the long term, not just one visit. No referrals needed, just care that truly shows up for you. Visit heartfeltobgyn.com or call 541-205-6890. Heartfelt OBGYN. Expert care when it matters most.
At Pacific Power, we can't predict the future, but we're preparing for every possibility. With more extreme weather year-round, we're investing in an energy system ready for what comes next. By strengthening the grid, using smart infrastructure, and drawing from our diverse energy resources, we're not just powering today. We're designing an energy system that's built to weather tomorrow. Energy that makes powering your greatness possible.
P.J. Safford, Trustin Thomas, Ty Teeters due up this half inning for the Falcons. They find themselves tied with the Salem Dodgers 1-1. They like to go to work against Colin Spurgeon. It's the first of 2 games here at the Coach K Memorial Classic for the Falcons. So they'll be taking on the Reno Knights tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. And then back at home on Sunday for a single 9-inning game against the Central Point Comets. That game's scheduled for a 6 o'clock start, like we were talking a little bit earlier. That's the final time you'll be able to see the Falcons at home this year. And players like P.J. Safford, who is in his final season of eligibility with the Falcons, as he leads off this 2nd inning. The pitch to Safford is going to hit off his bat and bounce fair right in front of the pitcher, and they throw out Safford. Tried to duck out of the way of a curveball, but didn't get his bat down, and will wind up as a ground out to lead off this 2nd inning. It brings up Trustin Thomas.
That happened last night as well, except last night it went foul instead of fair.
And get bailed out if it goes foul, but maybe now after getting called out on the ground ball, yeah, maybe you remember that one for the next time as Thomas gets ready to step in. Trustin on the season, batting .293 for the Falcons, trying to get something going here in the 2nd. He takes a pitch away, 1-0. It was with 2 outs that the Falcons rallied for their run in the 1st inning. Jacoby Tacchini singled and Ian Meyer tripled to knock him in. So Falcons can strike quick. Here's the 1-0 to Thomas. Misses inside. 2-0 to Trustin Thomas. Trustin 24 RBIs in 22 hits this year. Seen that batting average climb up quite a bit, about 30 points over the past handful of games for the Falcons. Now batting .293, like we said. It's been a good stretch for Trustin since about July 11th. He enters play on a 4-game hitting streak today. Right now in a 2-2 count. But played well against all the Grants past teams in that kind of 4-game set, 5 if you include the non-league game. Continued to swing the bat well, and like I said, has seen his batting average climb up 30 points over the last week. The 2-2 pitch to him is going to miss inside. 3-0 here to Trustin. 3-2 here to Trustin as he works ahead of Spurgeon. Pitch on the way is going to miss wide. And that'll be a walk delivered to Thomas, and it brings up Ty Teeters. Ty Teeters getting ready to step in now for the Falcons as he bats from the right side, getting the start at second base today for Klamath Falls. This season, Ty a .405 hitter, and he sends one on a line to right field. Thomas turns around second. He'll get into third standing. Teeters settles for a single, and runners at the corners with just one out for Chase Barrett. Nice piece of opposite field hitting there for Ty. And now moves Thomas only 90 feet away from scoring. Chase Barrett getting a chance to deliver him home. A .279 hitter this year. Barrett's only got 10 RBIs, but a golden opportunity here with just one out in the second. Lineup card turns over next for the Falcons with Carson Sims on deck. Here's the pitch to Barrett. Called a strike. The count is 0-1. Teeters takes off for second, but the throw down never comes. And now there's two men in scoring position still with just one out. Outfield playing a little bit shallow here against Barrett. The dimensions here at Harry and David Field, looks like 325 down the lines. It is 339 to left and right center, 400 to straightaway center field. Here's a bouncer up the middle, backhanded by the second baseman Smith, but he loses it on the transfer and a run scores. Barrett with an RBI infield single as Thomas touches home. Teeters to third, and the Falcons claim a 2-1 lead in the second inning. And for Barrett knocking in a run there, RBI number 11 on the season. Back to runners at the corners for the top of the Falcons order. It's Carson Sims, and well, they've used Sims in hidden run spots these last few games. Be curious if they have him doing something similar with good speed and Barrett at first. He can certainly get around the pillows if given a head start. This time he takes a head start, but he is going to swipe second safely. No swing from Sims on a fastball that missed above his head. Barrett in safely with a clean steal of second. By the way, his 11th stolen base of the season. And now Sims bats with two men in scoring position and still just one out, and in a 1-0 count against Spurgeon. Pitch on the way is also going to miss high to Carson, 2-0. Sims flew out in the first inning, but a chance to atone for that misstep here. Sims on the season, a .409 hitter, 27 RBIs on the season. Here's the 2-0. That one drifts away, maybe a touch up. Count is 3-0 to Sims. After Carson in the order, it's Corbin Hamilton. Spurgeon out of the windup. The 3-0 is going to find the zone. Sims going to have to be protective of that low outside corner. It's been called in the early part of this ball game against those right-handed hitters, but still in a 3-1 count, a chance to be a little bit selective up there against Spurgeon. Here comes the pitch. That one misses in, and Sims works a walk to load the bases, and it brings up Corbin Hamilton. So Sims at first, Barrett at second, Teeters at third. Hamilton now getting ready to hit as a meeting on the mound. Chess Luer comes out and has a discussion with Spurgeon. As he does, we'll remind you tonight's broadcast on mybasin.com is brought to you in part by Sage Credit Union. And they know that picking the right path can make the journey easier, the distance shorter, and assure that you end up at the right place. Whether you're dreaming of owning a home or you just want a great checking account, Sage Credit Union can help you reach your goals.
I'm kind of surprised that center field is playing so shallow against Corbin Hamilton with the bases loaded.
Yeah, you are not wrong. You speak the truth there. The whole outfield playing a couple of steps in, except seemingly in right. Now, Hamilton can hit the opposite way, but I think they'd want to back up a little bit. Here's the pitch to Hamilton. He shoots that one to the right side, but well fouled. The count is 0-1. Hamilton struck out earlier in this game, 0 for 1 today, but certainly a dangerous hitter. .430 average, 28 RBIs on the season, 7 extra base hits on the year. And again, leads the team in walks and on-base percentage. Here's the 0-1 to Hamilton. That one is going to find the zone. Again, that outside pitch punishing the Falcons a little bit. The count is 0-2. Spurgeon out of the windup with the bases loaded. Steps and delivers the 0-2 to Hamilton. That one misses wide. Count is 1-2. Jacoby Tacchini waiting on deck for Klamath Falls, hoping that Hamilton can knock in a few and maybe leave some out there for him. Again from the windup, the 1-2 to Corbin is going to miss inside near his hands. Had to bend out of the way of that one. And Corbin doing a good job laying off some pitches that were, well, somewhat close, especially that inside one. That curveball can be tricky to deal with up in the zone, but Hamilton wisely laying off. The count's even. And here's the 2-2. That one similar spot, except the fastball, a little bit easier to read that one coming in. And Hamilton now in a full count. Bases loaded, only one out in the inning, so unlikely to see these runners take off early. As Spurgeon has already walked to this inning. In danger of a third. Here's the 3-2. Hamilton hits it into the air to the right side, but in foul territory. Count will remain full, 3-2. Hamilton starting in center field today, something that I suppose as the season has gone on hasn't become too atypical, especially with Trustin and Chase sliding into the starting lineup as well. 3-2 to Hamilton, and again, hit right side foul. Count remains full. Be curious to see how the Falcons manage their lineup coming down the stretch here, getting ready for a state tournament with some of these games that won't impact their, well, I guess having made the state tournament with one league game left to go. Weekend tournaments here in Medford. 3-2 misses upstairs to Hamilton, works a walk. As Teeters scores, Barrett to third. Sims now in scoring position with Hamilton on first. It brings up Jacoby Tacchini. Tacchini singled in the first inning. Had a courtesy runner come in for him, and Max Rogers scored his run. But was the spearhead for the quick two-out rally that the Falcons used to score one run in the first. Now they lead after that walk scored a run. It's 3-1 Falcons here in the bottom half of the second inning. Pitch on the way from Spurgeon is fouled off by Jacoby. Checked his swing, but I think it got the knob of the bat or maybe somewhere on the handle. It's like Ricochet's foul. The count is 0-1. After Jacoby in the Falcons order, it's Ian Meyer. Spurgeon from the windup again delivers the pitch. It misses outside, 1-1. Inning started with a ground ball out, but since then Thomas has walked, Teeters and Barrett singled, and back-to-back walks to Sims and Hamilton have kept the bases loaded. The 1-1 is an off-speed pitch that misses in near the hands of Tacchini. Count is 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, that came in pretty far. I thought it was going to hit him.
He was able to kind of just squinch his hands near the body. Spurgeon's been trying to get that inside curveball to work today, and it just hasn't quite been there. That time it misses behind Tacchini, 3-1.
Good job to pull his bat down there. Quick thinking.
We've seen when teams are able to get that inside curveball going that it can be real dangerous, but now we've got a meeting out on the mound for the Dodgers and their infield. Gives us an opportunity to remind you tonight's broadcast on mybasin.com is brought to you by Gino's on East Main Street. Open up every single morning at 6:30, serving those famous breakfast burritos. They're served all day long, along with other menu items like burgers, monthly specials, and Italian favorites. You can order online at iloveginos.com or have it brought to you on DoorDash. Also, throughout the summer, Gino's has got live music going on throughout the weekends. I believe there's karaoke of some variety going on as well. You ought to visit them online. Again, iloveginos.com to get all those details. Are we getting a swap here for the Dodgers? Did someone else just join them out of the dugout?
Someone just came from the bullpen.
Okay. It looks like it's Cole Bartels, the guy who was listed as the DH to start the game. So they are bringing him in to try to get themselves out of this second inning. And he'll have to take over in the middle of an at-bat against Jacoby Tacchini as well. But we'll step aside for 60 seconds, give him some time to warm up, and then we'll introduce you to Cole Bartels after this one on 104.3 960 Sports and mybasin.com. The Falcons lead 3-1.
What are your your goals? To get stronger, move better, feel healthier? Whatever you are aiming for, Harbor Isles is here to help you. They have brand new cardio and strength equipment. Harbor Isles offers indoor tennis courts, 4 indoor pickleball courts, energizing group classes, expert personal trainers, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to guide you every step of the way. No matter what your goals are, Harbor Isles has everything you need to reach those goals. Stop by and see the difference for yourself. Harbor Isles, lose those reins and get your gains.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Cole Bartles from Sprague High School taking over in this one for the Salem Dodgers as they trail the Klamath Falls Falcons 3-1 in the bottom half of the second inning on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Bartles this season making his 10th overall appearance. It's his 7th in relief. Doesn't have any wins or losses yet on the year, but 21 and a third innings pitched. He's allowed 33 hits, 25 earned runs, and struck out 12 batters, an ERA hovering right around 8 coming into play today. And he takes over in the middle of an at-bat against Jacoby Takini. The bases are loaded in a 3-1 count. It's going to have to take some confidence here for Bartles to try to wiggle out of this one, and he starts out on the right foot as he pushes across a strike against Jacoby Takini. Count is full, but again, only 1 out in the inning. Takini, already 1 for 1 today, awaits the full count pitch, and he earns a walk. Just misses below the knees, and a walk adds a run. As Barrett scores, Sims moves to third, Hamilton now to second, and Takini aboard at first. It's a 4-1 lead now for Klamath Falls as Max Rogers comes back in to replace Takini on the base paths. So in steps Ian Meyer. He'd love to do again what he did back in the first inning, which was an RBI triple. Here it would add a heck of a lot more than just one, though, with the bases loaded. And again, good speed everywhere, especially at first in Max Rogers. In fact, Rogers scored from first on Meyer's last RBI triple. Here, he sends one in the air to left field, down for a single. Falcons content to go station to station for now as Sims touches home. Hamilton to third, Rogers to second, and Meyer aboard with his second RBI of the day. It's now 5-1 Falcons. Able to take advantage there as it brings up Colin Takini.
Good spot to hit it to. Just between the infield and the outfield. The outfield is playing up a little bit shallow, but he was still able to hit it to the gap.
Colin Takini, first pitch to him is taken low, 1-0 to Colin. He's 0 for 1 so far today as he flew out in the first inning. Bartles trying to work hard here. Still only 1 out in the inning, and the pitch to Takini is swung on and missed, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. This is the 9th batter to hit this inning for the Falcons. P.J. Safford due up next, and he led off this inning earlier. Colin on the year, a .363 hitter, second on the team in extra base hits. 13 of those this year. Here's the pitch, 1-1. This one is bounced foul. Count is 1-2 to Colin. 11 of those extra base hits have been doubles. He's got a couple of triples. Matches his RBIs and his runs scored. Both stand at 28. All right. 1-2 count to Takini. Catcher Lieber delivers the sign to his pitcher. Bartles comes set. Now the 1-2. A curveball misses up. 2-2 the count to Colin. Another one of the guys we kind of talked about at the beginning of this inning. Last chance to see him in a Falcons uniform is this Sunday in person at Kiger Stadium as he's ready to graduate out of the program after this year. Here he lifts one high to left field. Miller moving over in foul territory, but runs out of room near the fence. And the count stays a 2-strike count against Colin here in the bottom half of the second inning, a game in which Klamath Falls leads 5-1. They scored 1 in the first, and they've added 4 more here in the second. Takini with a base hit could bust this one wide open. Bartles looks in, gets the sign, now is set. Delivers the 2-2 pitch. Takini is going to get a piece of that one, just fouls it off. And count remains 2-2. Colin, a guy who's spent 4 years with the program. His playing career isn't over, though. Like I said, it's your last chance to see him at home at Kiger Stadium on Sunday, but he'll be continuing his playing career at Umpqua Community College in the fall. Here's the 2-2 to Colin. He hits that one sky high, shallow left field. Coming in is Miller. The shortstop calls him off and then overplays the baseball. They throw home instead of trying to get Rogers at third, who was probably dead to rights, but throwing to the wrong bag is going to cost the Dodgers a run there and certainly an out. As Hamilton touches home, Rogers advances to third, Meyer to second, and Takini aboard there, and should be scored likely as an error and no RBI there for Colin. I don't know if the base is loaded. He would get it anyway. And regardless, the lead is 6-1.
I heard someone on the field yell, 3-3.
Yeah, probably should have gone to third base in that case with Rogers nowhere near the bag, but decided to go home with it. Didn't have a chance to make a play, and everybody's safe, and the Falcons had a run. Still 1 out here in the second. P.J. Safford, his second chance this half inning, as he is 0 for 1 today after grounding out to lead off this inning. Here's the pitch to Safford. Curveball drifts away. Count is even to PJ. Aside from his ground out earlier today on the season, Safford a .338 hitter. Only 2 extra base hits, though, 24 singles and 24 RBIs, and when you know it, 24 runs scored as well for Safford. The 1-1 is hit the opposite way foul, 1-2. Safford coming up in the clutch last night against Grants Pass. Got a base hit in the bottom of the 6th inning and pushed it into a mercy rule victory for Klamath Falls. And so here in a not too dissimilar spot, not a chance to end the game, but a chance to add a couple of runs on a big-time base hit. The 1-2 to Safford, line drive, right field, and he gets the base hit. Rogers is going to score. Meyer gets the green light. The throw in from the outfield is a wild one, and it goes to the backstop. Now Takini going to score all the way from first, and he does. The throw back to the catcher allows Safford to advance to third. And so much going right for the Falcons there as Safford clears the bases on one swing of the bat, and the Falcons now lead 9-1.
Kind of a crazy play at home there. Takini had slid in, and then while the catcher was kind of straddling him, he got up. And the catcher was on his back. I think that might have bought some time for Safford to get to third.
It was good aggressive base running by PJ, staying in tune with the play and able to advance to third on both, first to second on the one throwing error, and then to third on the next throwing error. And so 2 errors on that same play have led to 3 runs scoring. That's 3 errors in the inning, and all on the last 2 batters for Salem, as this game is opened up for the Falcons in a 9-1 advantage. They try to throw down to get Safford at third, but the ball goes down the line. Safford not in a position to get up and run for it, but Trustin Thomas, I believe he took that pitch for a ball. The count is 1-0 to Trustin, who walked and scored earlier this inning. By the way, Safford knocking in a couple of runs there. He gets 2 of those 3 runs that scored, and so up to 26 RBIs on the season. And the 1-0 to Trustin. Here it comes. Misses in. 2-0 to Trustin Thomas. After Trustin in the order, it is Ty Teeters for the Falcons, as they continue to add on to this lead here in the second inning. 9-1 Falcons lead. Again, the Dodgers did lose earlier today in a pretty lopsided defeat. And so we'll see how they're able to respond as Thomas pokes one foul. Count is 2-1. As we got to the ballpark today, the Dodgers were playing their first game of a doubleheader today. Again, they lost their opener 29-0. There's been a couple of those lopsided defeats for the Dodgers this year. An 11-0 loss, a 20-6 loss, a 19-0 loss. That was their season opener. But a team that has still been able to put together enough wins to earn a trip to the AAA state tournament. Part of that is by virtue of just not having very many teams at the AAA level this year. Only 12 in the state of Oregon this year, and so it's certainly a down year for Legion in Oregon, and the Dodgers are going to try to take advantage of that by getting their own state tournament berth out of it. The 2-2 home to Trustin Thomas. A curveball misses upstairs, up by his eyes, and the count's full to Trustin. Again, Safford, who stands now at third, was also the first and so far only out in this inning to lead it off. Now this is the 10th batter to hit this half inning as Thomas sends a chopper up the middle. The shortstop up with it, but Thomas beats it out and earns an RBI for his trouble. The Falcons now lead 10-1 as Safford touches home. Thomas knocks in another. You just love to have him up with runners in scoring position. Another RBI there for Thomas.
Oh, man. He barely beat that throw, too. I was on the edge of my seat up here in the box.
He's got some wheels, able to show him off there. That was a nice job there. And not a bad play by the shortstop, Riddell, but just not enough on that throw to get Thomas speeding down the line. And Ty Teeters gets ready to settle in here for the Falcons. But just to close our thought on Trustin Thomas there, RBI number 25 on the summer. Move over to first, and the first baseman, Antone, had to block that one from getting behind him. Bartles almost got that one behind him. All right, first pitch coming up to Ty Teeters. That is going to be called a strike. Ty might have thought it was inside, but I think it had a little bit of a wrinkle to it as Bartles works ahead. Now 0-1. Chase Barrett is on deck for Klamath Falls. Again, still just one out in the inning. Runner at first. 9 runs home this half for the Falcons. They lead by as many. Here's the 0-1. Misses wide. 1-1. The count to Teeters. Ty on the season, a .405 hitter for Klamath Falls. As he takes another look at Cole Bartles. The pitch on the way is swung on and missed. Count is 1-2. Teeters last night against Grants Pass in the opener saw a 5-game hitting streak go away, but a chance to start a new one here today, and in fact he already did with a single earlier this half inning. Count to him is 1-2. The pitch fouled straight back. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Teeters. Again, Thomas aboard first after the RBI single. All right. Bartles set after taking a look over at Thomas. Now the pitch home is swung on and missed. They try to backpick the runner at first, but to no avail. Regardless, Teeters is down on strikes for the second out in the inning, and it brings up Chase Barrett with 2 outs and a runner on first. After Barrett, the lineup card turns over. Carson Sims would be on deck if the inning continues. Barrett, by the way, for his part, singled earlier this inning, knocked in a run, and scored a run. Here's the first pitch to him. Swung on and missed, 0-1.
You know, Google says the AQI is only 130, but I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, I'm a skeptic. My phone says something different. Let's see, what does the old trusty weather app have to say? 173.
That seems more like it.
The 0-1 misses away, 1-1. We've gotten reports of higher numbers, but here's what we can tell you. It's smoky out here. That's what we know for sure.
Well, I don't know, Josh.
Yeah, it's certainly making an impact. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. Barrett will get another chance, though, here in a 2-strike count. As Bartles, who came into this inning in relief, trying to finally escape it here.
The only reason I mentioned it is because it's kind of tickling my throat a little bit.
Me too. It's starting to get to me a little bit, too. The 1-2. Curveball misses up. 2-2. Barrett putting together a good at-bat here, trying to stick around, get on base, and continue this big inning for the Falcons. The 2-2, another good take on the outside. Barrett runs the count full, and now with a full count and 2 outs now, Trustin Thomas going to be on the move from first. Bartles takes a look over it there before coming set, now delivers. Thomas on the run, but the ball misses low anyway to Barrett, earns him a walk. The inning continues as Thomas advances into scoring position, and Carson Sims is due up now.
Carson is the, 12th batter this inning?
13.
Wow.
And so 0 for 1 in the ball game, although he did walk and score earlier this inning. Here's the pitch to Sims. In the dirt, 1-0. Sims bats .409, 9 extra base hits this season for the Falcons. And still looking for his first hit today, as he hits that one to center field. Lawrence finds some room underneath it and puts that one away. And that will end the inning, but not before the Falcons score 9, and they lead by 9 as we go to the top half of inning number 3 on mybasin.com.
There's something special about this place. It's more than the quiet mornings and the open skies. It's more than the scenery. It's the people. Around here, people still wave when you pass by. They check in when something's wrong. They show up when it matters. At Sage Credit Union, we're proud to live and work in a region that believes in each other. A place where neighbors lend a hand, small businesses thrive, and generosity runs deep. We believe that being part of a community means giving back to it, not just with dollars, but with time, effort, and heart. That's why our employees earn paid volunteer time. That's why you'll see us at food drives, fundraisers, and the local fair. We show up for our community. This isn't just where we work. This is where we live, where we give, and where we grow. Right here, in the coffee shop, at the fundraiser, and in our local branch. At Sage Credit Union, we've found our people. We'll see you around town.
It is Keanu Miller, Caden Knoll, and Jake Smith due up this half inning for the Dodgers as they continue to work against Harley Hoblet, who through the first 2 innings has allowed just 1 run on 2 hits, and his 1 run is unearned. And
how many strikeouts does he have? He's got to have a couple.
He's got 3. He struck out 2 in the first inning. He got 1 there in the second. And so continuing to work well against the Dodgers today, 9-1-2. In the order due up this half inning for Harley Hoblet. Here's the pitch. Check swing, but a curveball gets Miller looking. It's strike 1.
Strike for the Cuban Missile.
There you go. I knew we had to mix it in for after not doing it all in the second inning, I don't think.
I love Harley.
The 0-1 misses outside 1-1. He's got a lot of personality. I think a lot of freshmen come in and they're a little timid, but not Harley. He's picked his own nickname after all. The 1-1 pitch is going to miss upstairs 2-1.
He brings a lot of value to the team.
No doubt.
On the field and off the field.
100%. He's, he wants his teammates to get better. I think I told this story. I don't know if you were there for it. By the way, Hoblet gets a swing and a miss on Miller. The count is 2-2. When we were up in the Willamette Valley for the week-long stay up there where the Falcons were playing teams from Eugene and Salem and all that stuff, one night I walk out of my motel room, and we were all in the same kind of block of rooms, and I walk out to my car in the middle of this hotel. There's a courtyard with a grass lawn, and Harley is out there working with Trustin on how to lay down a bunt. The 2-2 Hoblet gets Miller looking. It's strike 3. 4 Ks today for Harley Hoblet. We go back to the top of the order here for Caden Knoll. And so just to finish my point, Harley said that he wanted to go do that. He wanted to go work on bunts with Trustin, so he's out there working. It's dark outside at the hotel room on some fundamental baseball stuff. That's a ball player right there. Curveball again, dropped in for a strike. I think that's 3 straight benders for Harley, all for strikes. He's got that thing working. Here's the 0-1. Goes to it again. This time it's fouled off by Knoll, and the count's 0-2.
You know what they say, ball is life.
It is. And it is for Harley for certain.
He just showed up between 2 different Falcons games and to a basketball tournament. He hooped up and then went back to baseball the next day.
And they finished runner-up at that 3v3 tournament, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so
thanks to him.
Good showing for him. The 1-2 home, curveball misses wide, 2-2. They count to Caden Knoll. By the way, he's 1 for 1 in the ball game so far today. He singled in the first inning and was out on a fielder's choice. 2-2, ground ball left side through and into left field. And a 2-for-2 day now for Caden Knoll. A 1-out single here in the third brings up Jake Smith. Smith, the starting second baseman today for the Dodgers. On the season, Smith, a .304 hitter, and actually leads the team in RBIs coming into play today. Have to shoot one pretty well in the gap to score. Knoll all the way from first. In the middle infield for the Falcons, ready to try and turn a double play. Move over to first. Hoblet with a nice move for a lefty, but Knoll is back safely. Smith, by the way, did ground into a fielder's choice in the first inning. Was able to beat out the double play ball, would eventually take advantage of that by scoring what stands so far today as the Dodgers' only run. Pitch misses low. No one is on the move. The count is 1-0 to Jake Smith, who hails from Sweet Home High School.
Do you think it's harder for lefties to not balk?
You know, it's just a different set of skills. I think it actually kind of makes it easier as a pickoff move, though, because you can kind of feign that motion to home, but you know, it's still a little bit tricky, but I think it's actually, I mean, it is easier for left-handers to make that move over to first if you practice it. But we've seen, I mean, Falcons have some good right-handers that make that move just as clean. So I think after the years of baseball has gone by and the game has evolved, I think right-handers have maybe made up a little bit of the difference on the advantage that lefties have moving over to first. They move over again, but again, Knoll is safe. All right. The 1-0 is lifted to center field. Hamilton in a couple of steps, but he makes the catch, and there's 2 gone. As Knoll stays put at first, it brings up Damon Lawrence. Lawrence 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the first inning. I believe this is still him. Yep, Lawrence, number 8 there, stepping into the left-handed batter's box. Lawrence, the team's second leading hitter coming into the ball game, bats .412. For him, 1 double is his only extra base hit on the year. Here's the pitch from Harley Hoblet, called a strike. The count is 0-1 to Lawrence, with Tanner Antone due up next. We're in the top of the third inning, a game in which the Falcons lead the Salem Dodgers 10-1.
Here's a lefty against a lefty. That's fun to watch.
Hoblet's going to step off. Kind of a rarity. Don't get to often see it. But, man, if Hoblet can exploit that breaking ball, continues to work hard. The 0-1, he does just that. Curveball away from the lefty, got Lawrence to swing over the top of it. I love that pitch.
I don't even know if that ball was anywhere near his bat.
Yeah, he swung quite a bit over the top of it and quite a bit early, too. We'll see where Hoblet goes. 0-2, just about every option on the table. Goes curveball. It's a ground ball left side by the diving glove of Takini. And maybe going to the well one too many times on the outside curveball. But a base hit nonetheless for Damon Lawrence, and it brings up Tanner Antone.
How much of the pitching decision lies on the shoulders of the catcher, and how much relies on the shoulders of the pitcher?
I would say between those two, I mean, mostly on the catcher. But it's interesting because I'm not sure, how it typically works between Coach Craig Connor, who's the pitching coach for the Falcons, and how much he trusts in Takini, the catcher, to call a game on his own. I can see, for the most part, Jacoby looks over, gets the sign from the dugout, and relays it to the pitcher. But, he's got enough baseball experience where you might trust him calling some certain spots of some certain games, although I don't want to speak to how their relationship is, but heck, I would certainly trust him. The count's 1-1 right now to Tanner Antone, as he's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout in the first inning.
Okay, here's something that I don't understand. If you're using signs, why would the catcher look and then relay it? Why wouldn't the pitcher just look?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we've seen that in softball, though, a couple times where you just look over, the softball girls just look over and get it, so I'm not really sure, but...
Especially if you have a runner on second.
Yeah. 1-1. Delivery to Antone. curveball dropped in there just around the knees on the outer third, now to the right-handed hitting first baseman for the Dodgers. Hoblet looking in, waiting for that signal. He's going to find it as Hoblet just one strike away from trying to leave a runner stranded in scoring position for the second consecutive inning. Hoblet will step off for just a moment as Takini gives him the target. Hoblet is set. Pretty decent lead off a second for Knoll, but Hoblet delivers home anyway. The pitch is called a ball. They move over to first. The runner at first is out, or do they call a strikeout at the plate? Regardless, the inning is over, and the Falcons maintain a 10-1 lead. To the bottom half of the third we go next on mybasin.com.
At Geno's on East Main Street, we're always ready for sports season.
And now is a perfect time to connect with us.
We're open every morning at 6:30, serving simply good food.
For your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We offer breakfast burritos and burgers all day, Italian family recipes,
monthly specials, amazing desserts, and of course, your choice of cold or hot beverages.
Call 884-6474 right now to place a food order for pickup or use DoorDash delivery.
Or best of all, come dine in with us.
Geno's on East Main, simply good food.
Check out our full menu and all our activities at ilovegenos.com. Geno's on East Main, simply good food.
Corbin Hamilton, Jacoby Takini, and Ian Meyer do up this half inning for the Falcons, who lead the Salem Dodgers 10-1 here at the Coach K Classic in Medford. First of two games this weekend here in the Rogue Valley for the Falcons. They'll play again tomorrow against the Reno Knights before returning back to Area 4 play on Sunday, wrapping up the regular season at home. Let's go ahead and give you the final line score on the game's starter for Salem, Colin Spurgeon. He was taken out of the game in favor of Cole Bartles in that last inning as Bartles gets ready to face Corbin Hamilton here. Spurgeon, 1 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, 7 earned runs. He walked 4 and struck out 1. A line drive to right field off the bat of Hamilton. Lawrence sails out for it, but unable to bring it in. And a good effort still results in a Hamilton single to lead off the third.
Yeah, that's tough. He was right there. You can tell he's not too happy about it in center field either. I wouldn't be.
Hard play to make, though. Good effort.
Yeah. No, nothing you can take away from him on that play. Just, it's tough when that highlight is right there and you just barely miss it.
Jacoby Takini getting ready to settle in now for the Falcons. Leadoff base runner and Hamilton aboard. Takini has reached base twice today and has an RBI from when he walked with the bases loaded in the second inning. And they move over and Hamilton's safe at first. Bottom of the third inning here. Falcons lead by 9. Trying to add any they can, see if they can't end this one early with such a big lead that they have. Jacoby pops one up left field. Miller moving in, has to run a long way, but no one is going to be there to make the catch. And that one's going to settle down between the shortstop and the left fielder. Takini is aboard. Hamilton advances to second on that play, and it brings up Ian Meyer.
Hamilton was exactly one step away from second base when that ball fell. I think he predicted it.
Yeah, that's a risky prediction. But
well, you're up 10-1. What can you do?
Yeah, I suppose. And they marked that there as a base hit. Miller, the left fielder, I mean, he had to run a country mile to try to get close to that. The shortstop, Riddell, that was maybe 2 feet from him as he watched that one hit the turf kind of harmlessly. So mark that a single for Takini. And Meyer, first pitch swinging, launches one to right field. That one, though, is caught by the center fielder, Lawrence. Advancing from second to third on that sacrifice fly was Hamilton, and Max Rogers stays put at first. So runners at the corners with one out here for Colin Takini.
Hamilton again with really good judgment. That was another tough ball to get to, but Hamilton didn't even step off the bag. He just tagged up all the way.
Smart baseball winds him up at third base. And it brings up Colin Tacchini. And with Max Rogers aboard at first, runners at the corners, Falcons typically like to get aggressive in these spots. We'll see if they do it again here in the bottom of the third inning of this one. Pitch home. Tacchini rips it into left field on a line, and then it's misplayed by the left fielder and is going to roll to the wall. Rogers is going to score all the way from first, and Tacchini in at second will give him the single and knocking in 1 run. And maybe 2, regardless, winding up at second on the error. Going to give Salem an error on that play regardless. Their 4th of the ball game as Hamilton touches home and Max Rogers scores all the way from first. And it brings up P.J. Safford as the Falcons' lead grows 12-1. Safford 1 for 2 so far tonight. He grounded out in the second, but he also singled in the second and drove in 2 runs. Also scored later in that inning. Bartles set. Decent lead for Tacchini off of second, and the pitch home to Safford is another ground ball to left side through and into left field. Tacchini gets held up at third. The throw in is going to bounce away from the cutoff man for a moment, but not enough to allow anyone to advance. And so Safford, with his second hit of the day, puts runners back at the corners with 1 out. And here is Trustin Thomas. Falcons continuing to swing the bat well today. 12 runs have led to 12 hits for him. Thomas has got one of those hits. An RBI came back in the second inning. Bartles delivers the pitch to Thomas. That one misses low. Count is 1-0. Trustin to go along with his RBI single from earlier in the contest. Also walked and scored in the second inning. After Thomas, in the order is Ty Teeters. Here's the pitch to Trustin. Called a strike, knee high on the outside part of the zone. Count is 1-1. All right. Bartles with the pitch, the 1-1. That one popped up foul, 1-2. Still to come tonight here in Medford, the Mustangs will be in action to close out the Coach K Memorial Tournament. And then again, when everyone comes back tomorrow, the Mustangs been playing the nightcap, of course, here at Harry and David Field. The 1-2 pitch misses low, 2-2 the count to Trustin Thomas. Harry and David Field typically home to the Medford Rogues, the summer collegiate woodbat team here in Medford. Been having a pretty good year this season in the Pacific Empire League. As Thomas pops this one up in the infield. Playable for the pitcher, Bartles. He will make the catch, and there's 2 outs in the inning. Brings up Ty Teeters. Teeters 1 for 2 so far today. Singled in the second and scored a run. He also struck out in the second inning. Chance here with runners at the corners. Colin Tacchini at third. P.J. Safford still aboard at first. 2 runs home this inning for the Falcons. They lead 12-1. Here's the pitch. That one is in the dirt, but a nice job by the catcher for Salem. Snagged that one like a first baseman.
Yeah, I was going to say, he really dug that one out.
Saved a run for sure. Count is 1-0 to Ty Teeters. Bartles comes set. Now the pitch. Another one low. This time a little bit easier for Lever to collect as counts 2-0 to Teeters. Chase Barrett is on deck for the Falcons should the inning continue with 2 outs and 2 men on. The delivery home. Misses wide. Try to throw down to first and collected by the first baseman Antone, but no tag applied to get Safford. The count, I believe, is 3-0. There it is to Ty Teeters. 3-0. The count to the Falcons' second baseman. Set on the hill is Bartles. Now the pitch. That one misses wide, and a 4-pitch walk delivered to Teeters. Moves Safford to second. Tacchini remains put at third. Bases loaded for Chase Barrett, and we have got a meeting for the Salem Dodgers out there on the mound. We'll see if any changes are to be made here in the third inning with the bases loaded and the number 9 hitter due up next for the Falcons. As they discuss things out there, we'll remind you today's broadcast on mybasin.com is brought to you in part by Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance. They use a modern and research-backed approach to physical therapy to ensure you see both a reduction in pain and enhanced mobility, getting you back to peak levels of optimal health and wellness. Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance has been treating athletes of all ages since 2020. Coach is heading on back to the dugout. The infield disperses out there. Looks like they are leaving Cole in there. And maybe not. We got the coach here talking to the home plate umpire. Might be seeing a change, and it looks like we are as someone follows him out of the dugout. Miller seems to be coming in from left. And I spoke too soon as we've got some changes here for the Salem Dodgers. 12-1 our score as we break off here in the bottom of the third inning.
Come on in. Hey, I'm Jason with Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance, and just a little bit about us. So we started in March of 2020, opened right before COVID hit. It's been a wild ride. So one of the things I'm super passionate about is this idea of being guides or think about like a map and compass. If you think about our job as physical therapists is to take a person who's had an injury and help them kind of go from point A to point B. And everybody's journey is different. It's never a straight line. It's nice to have someone that's been there, that's walked that path before many times. And so we see it as our honor and privilege to be able to walk with patients through those little steps along the way of getting back to doing the things they love. So to get a hold of us at Elevate, you can call our number at 541-887-2030. Check out our website, elevateptfp.com. Or check us out on Instagram, shoot us a message.
New pitcher into the game for the Salem Dodgers is Nolan Ricks. Comes in from playing the third base position. Cole Bartles, who was pitching, is taken over at third base. Also a new player to the game taken over in left field is Evan High from Lebanon High School. And at the plate is Chase Barrett with the bases loaded and 2 outs, a game in which the Falcons lead 12-1, bottom of the third inning. Ricks comes set, the right-hander for the Dodgers. We'll give you the statistical outlook on him in just a second as Barrett swings and misses at the first pitch. The count is 0-1. Ricks on the season for the Dodgers is making his second appearance. In his first outing, he faced 4 batters and didn't record an out. He allowed 3 hits and 2 runs as Chase Barrett sends a line drive to second base. It is caught by the second baseman Smith, and that will get them out of this inning. But the Falcons still add 2 despite leaving the bases loaded. They lead by 11, and we're heading to the top of the fourth next on mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Five, 6, and 7 due up for the Dodgers this half inning. A new pitcher on the mound for the Falcons is Ty Teeters as the right-hander continues to warm up out there. He takes over for Harley Hoblet. Looking for some other changes here for the Falcons. It looks like Corbin Hamilton has taken over at first. Meyer has moved over to third. Colin Tacchini takes over for Teeters at second. And I think Let's see, did we take Hoblet out? Nope, he's out there in center. So there you go. Those are your changes there for the Falcons. Everyone kind of moves around a little bit out there as Ty Teeters will introduce you to him as he takes over for Harley Hoblet here in the top half of inning number 4, a game in which the Falcons lead 12-1. We'll go ahead and check on the line score here in just a minute for our two teams. Falcons have got 12 runs on 12 hits. They've committed 1 error. The Dodgers today, 1 run on 4 hits. They've committed 4 errors. Ty Teeters making his second appearance of the summer. He previously pitched 2 innings, allowed 2 hits and 3 runs. He did strike out 3 batters, an ERA up above 10.5, but far too small of a sample size to put any stock in that at all. Teeters has been quality at the dish this year and making his first appearance in over a month. It was June 13th against the Redmond SunWest Generals. Teeters, I suppose that means he's only pitched against AAA teams that this season as he starts out Jackson Riddell with a pitch low and away. The count is 1-0.
Yeah, that game against the SunWest Generals, one of their 3 losses, but not a bad game at all. They played pretty well, especially missing, P.J. Safford, Ian Meyer, and
Colin Tacchini.
Tacchini.
And so, yeah, you're exactly right about that. That was, I think, the 4th or something game of the season. It was only a few days in and a 1-run loss to a AAA team. And here, beating a state tournament-bound AAA team by 11 runs here in the 4th inning as Jackson Riddell flies out to left field. Chase Barrett back a few steps to tuck it away. And the 1 out in the inning brings up Chess Lewer. He's 0 for 1. Popped out in the 2nd inning of this one. As let's let you know the final line for Harley Hoblet, as he, like I said, was taken out of the game for pitching duties, but remains in center field. First pitch to Lever is a bunt, laid down in front of the mound. Teeters comes off the bump, sets his feet, fires a dart in time to get the catcher racing down the line. That was a great throw from Ty Teeters. I was a little bit nervous when he took his time to set his feet, but it paid off, and he gets the out there.
Yeah, when they say that second basemen often have the weakest arms on the team, I don't think that applies to Ty Teeters.
No, not at all. And I think, well, I mean, especially with him out there on the mound, he's not a second baseman anymore. He's pitching out there and making good, quick work here in the 4th inning. Nolan Ricks, the batter now for the Dodgers, 0 for 1. He struck out in his only plate appearance in the 2nd inning. The 1-0 pitch home is hit foul, 1-1, and wanted to close the book again on Hoblet, who pitched the first 3 innings of the ball game today, allowed 4 hits and 1 unearned run. He struck out 5, and if the lead holds through 5 innings, Hoblet would be in line for a victory today, unless the Dodgers are able to get within 10 runs and extend the ball game, which case Ty Teeters, as a relief pitcher, might be in line for a win, depending on how long that game goes. Ricks ahead of Teeters 2-1, but Teeters dropping in a nice bender. 2-2 the count. A lot of movement on Teeters' curveball. And he's got so much movement. I'm surprised we don't see more of it during the season, but a good pitch to use to get ahead, and then goes to the fastball to get strike 3 swinging against Ricks. 3 up, 3 down for the Dodgers in the 4th. We go to the bottom half next in a 12-1 ball game. The Falcons lead on MyBasin.com.
The Klamath Basin is beautiful, from shimmering Klamath Lake to rich farmlands to the historic downtown. And with an average of over 300 days of sunshine every year, the Klamath Basin is a great place to be. We here at Basin Media Active have been supporting this community for many years, keeping it entertained and informed with friendly faces and familiar voices. You can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, stream live local sports, and check out our community calendar, all on our website, mybasin.com. And you can download our app for free in your app store right now. Basin Media Active, local, community, engaged.
Bottom half of the fourth inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Salem Dodgers a score of 12-1 here at the Coach K Memorial Classic at Harry and David Field in Medford, Oregon. Top of the lineup due up for the Falcons against Nolan Ricks for the Dodgers. It'll be Sims, Hamilton, and Takini due up this half inning. By the way, can close the book on Cole Bartles, who pitched 1 1/3 middle innings for the Dodgers today, allowed 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. He walked 2 and struck out 1. Ricks, for his part, recorded the final out of the third inning and continues to work in relief here today. So Sims ready to lead off this inning. For him, 0 for 2 today. His hitting streak coming into today's ball game in a little bit of jeopardy. He did walk and reach base and score a run earlier today, but Carson looking to find that sometimes elusive first hit of the ball game.
Yeah, today we're only playing a 7-inning game, so not a lot of opportunity today compared to some doubleheaders you might have or a 9-inning game, which is usually the case.
Enters play today on a 5-game hitting streak. Crazy thing about this hitting streak for Carson, they've all been multi-hit games. 3 hits against the Cavemen on the 13th, and 2 each in all of the 4 games against the Nuggets in league play. He works ahead here 1-0. Now he pops up the 1-0 pitch in the foul territory in the first base side. The catcher, Lever, comes all the way out down the line and makes the catch. Not an easy catch for the catcher to make, but it's the first out in the fourth inning. Brings up Corbin Hamilton for the Falcons. Hamilton is 1 for 2 so far tonight. He has scored a couple of runs, though, once when he walked in the second inning. By the way, added an RBI when he walked with the bases loaded in that inning. He also singled and scored to lead off the third. Here's the first pitch to him. Misses upstairs, 1-0. Corbin batting .430 on the year for Klamath Falls. The 1-0 pitch on the way. That one is hit through the middle and into center field. And a 1-out base knock for Hamilton brings up Jacoby Takini. 2 base hits on the day now for Corb. And Jacoby has already got 2 hits today. Once in the third, once in the first. Trying to add some more here to the Falcons' lead. Takini's been swinging the bat well as of late. A now 7-game hitting streak intact after he collected his singles earlier today. And in these 6 games, he's got 15 hits. That is an outrageous number across 6 games. Here's the pitch to Takini. That one is going to miss, I think, upstairs. Count is 1-0. After Takini in the order, it is Ian Meyer. The 1-0 on the way to Jacoby. That one is hit well, deep to left field. Going back near the track is high, and he is able to tuck that one away for the second out in the inning. I saw the players in the Falcons dugout start to stand up. Thought maybe that one had a chance, but with the way the wind is blowing in from center field today and the thickness in the air with the smoke, I think that one might have stole a home run there from Jacoby. Instead, it is a long fly ball out, and it brings up Ian Meyer.
Yeah, that was squared up. Got all of the ball.
It sounded great off the bat.
Yeah, it did.
First pitch to Ian Meyer is hit well to left field, but that's also foul. Look out. We got a team out there warming up in the batting cages. Seems like everyone's okay, though. The count's 0-1 to Ian Meyer. He's got a single today and an RBI triple, 2 for 2 tonight, to go along with a sacrifice fly in the third inning. Meyer's behind in the count, 0-1 against Nolan Ricks. Ricks comes set after checking on Hamilton over at first. And the 0-1 to Meyer is a line drive to right field and a single for Ian Meyer. Extends this fourth inning and brings up Colin Takini. Colin so far in this ball game is 1 for 3. He flew out in the first inning, reached on an error in the second, and then singled in the third. He was left stranded at third base when he singled last inning. Hamilton in at second. Meyer in at first. 2 outs in the inning, a game in which the Falcons lead by 11 runs. But again, any insurance you can add here in the bottom of the 4th sets you up nicely for a potential mercy rule finish in the top half of the 5th inning as Meyer takes a pitch for, I thought that was ruled strike 1. Yeah, the umpire gave the strike 1 signal.
Good framing job.
This one is a ground ball to shortstop. Up with it is Riddell. Goes the short route to second to get Meyer, and that will retire the side. The Falcons can't get any across despite collecting 2 base hits. They carry an 11-run lead to the top half of the 5th inning. Next on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Rob, why do you think so many families choose Subaru here?
Because they're built for real life here in Southern Oregon.
All-wheel drive, safety, and room for everything from kids to camping gear.
And we've got Subarus in stock, ready to go when you are.
Plus, we're locally owned and deeply involved in the community.
When you buy from us, you buy from a dealership that supports Klamath Falls. Stop by and say hi.
Friendly, local, and easy to work with. That's us at Klamath Falls Subaru, right on Washburn Way.
Cole Bartles, Keanu Miller, and Caden Knoll do up this half inning for the Salem Dodgers. Top half of the 5th, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead 12-1. The Dodgers would need 2 runs in this half inning to extend the ball game and avoid a second mercy rule finish in as many games today at the Coach K Memorial Classic here in Medford. As Ty Teeters looks to close this one out. Not a save opportunity for Ty, but a chance to get some work in. He got through the 4th inning without allowing a base runner. 3 up, 3 down. And he's looking for more of the same here as he starts things out with strike 1 looking to Bartles. And count is 0-1. Bartles 0 for 1 today. He popped out to the pitcher in the 2nd inning. The 0-1 pitch from Teeters, a curveball and a bouncer out towards short. Sims is not able to make the play, and Colin Takini, or sorry, that's Ian Meyer now at third. Kind of blocked Sims' view, wasn't able to make the play properly, and although that might be charged an error to Sims, it's more Meyer on not getting out of his way. We'll see exactly how that winds up being scored as Keanu Miller gets ready to step in now for the Dodgers.
Yeah, it kind of faked him out there, you know.
Yeah, well, he was, as the third baseman, you know, that might be a play for Meyer to make, too. That was just a ball in a tough spot for anyone to really make a clean play on. And so the first pitch here to Miller is going to be called a ball. Misses low there. Teeters set with the next pitch. That one is swung on and missed. By the way, a single given to Bartles on that play. Hard to attribute an error to anybody on a tough ball to field cleanly anyway. So I was waiting to make sure that was a single before I put it in my book, but certainly works out that way for Bartles. The count 1-1 to Miller as Teeters comes set. Top of the order due up next for the Dodgers. This one's popped up right side foul. 1-2. Miller 0 for 1 in the ball game, struck out in the 3rd. And now with 2 strikes on him against Teeters. Double play in order for the middle infield for the Falcons. Teeters looking to go right after Miller, though. The pitch and a roller towards the right side of the infield. First baseman Hamilton has to come off the bag, but Teeters loses the foot race. Oh, they say he got him. I don't know. You have a better angle on first base than I do.
He's tapping his head.
Yeah, wants to review that one.
ABS review there.
I can't quite do ABS on the base pads, but
well,
take your set. Like I said, I couldn't quite see the angle on that one. It looked close. I thought Miller beat him, frankly. But an out, and a runner advances into scoring position anyway, as it brings up Caden Knoll. First pitch to Knoll. Chopper to third. Meyer on a hop. It's going to throw to first in time. They look the runner back to second. That's Bartles, and he stays there. Now there's 2 outs for Jake Smith. And actually, I stand corrected. We got a pinch hitter coming in. Owen Wood hitting here in Smith's spot, in the 2 spot. And he represents what could be the final out for the Salem Dodgers. Although, if he's able to get on and get around, the game would continue. That's counting that Bartles would also score as he stands in scoring position out there. First pitch on the way to Wood. That's a bouncer right back towards Teeters. He's going to underhand toss to first, and that is the ball game. The Klamath Falls Falcons on short notice, an invitation here to the Coach K Classic. They come away with a Game 1 win against the Salem Dodgers, a score of 12-1. We're going to step aside here for 2 minutes, and when we come back, we'll recap this one for you and get you set up for our final game of the tournament coming up tomorrow. We're going to step aside here on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
When your care feels complicated, you need someone who won't back away. At Heartfelt, they are known for taking on the cases others won't. Complex, high-risk, and deeply personal situations that deserve real attention. They specialize in minimally invasive procedures, helping you heal faster and get back to your life, your family, your work. And they are here for the long term, not just one visit. No referrals needed, just care that truly shows up for you. Visit heartfeltobgyn.com or call 541-205-6890. Heartfelt OBGYN, expert care when it matters most.
Come on in. Hey, I'm Jason with Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance, and just a little bit about us. So we started in March of 2020, opened right before COVID hit. It's been a wild ride. So one of the things I'm super passionate about is this idea of being guides, and or think about like a map and compass. If you think about our job as physical therapists is to take a person who's had an injury and help them kind of go from point A to point B. And everybody's journey is different. It's never a straight line. It's nice to have someone that's been there, that's walked that path before many times. And so we see it as our honor and privilege to be able to walk with patients through those little steps along the way of getting back to doing the things they love. So to get a hold of us at Elevate, you can call our number at 541-887-2030. Check out our website, elevateptfp.com. Or check us out on Instagram, shoot us a message.
The Klamath Basin is beautiful, from shimmering Klamath Lake to rich farmlands to the historic downtown. And with an average of over 300 days of sunshine every year, the Klamath Basin is a great place to be. We here at Basin Media Active have been supporting this community for many years, keeping it entertained and informed with friendly faces and familiar voices. You can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, stream live local sports, and check out our community calendar, all on our website, mybasin.com. And you can download our app for free in your app store right now. Basin Media Active, local community engaged.
Final score today in Medford. The Klamath Falls Falcons with a 12-1 victory over the Salem Dodgers. In this one for the Falcons, 12 runs comes on 14 hits. They commit 1 error. For the Dodgers, 1 run on 5 hits. They commit 3 errors. The winning pitcher today for the Falcons is Harley Hoblet, who worked 3 innings, allowing 4 hits and 1 unearned run. He struck out 5 batters. The loss in this one goes to Colin Spurgeon, who pitched an inning and a third, allowing 4 hits, 7 runs. They're all earned. He walked 4 and struck out 1. Some notables today for the Falcons. Ian Meyer finished 3 for 4 with an RBI triple, finished with 2 RBIs on the day. He was helped out by Colin Tacchini, who finished 2 for 4 today with 2 RBIs. PJ Safford was also 2 for 3 with a run scored and 2 RBIs. The Falcons got 1 hit each from Trustin Thomas, Ty Teeters, and Chase Barrett. And with this win, the Falcons improved to 32-3 on the season. They'll be back here in Medford tomorrow afternoon for a 4:30 first pitch against the Reno Knights before they return back to the Basin to Kiger Stadium on Sunday to close out the regular season before the Wednesday Oregon Single-A Legion State Tournament. Otherwise, this about does it for us today on day number 1 from the Coach K Classic here in Medford at Harry and David Field. Want to thank everybody involved with making the broadcast possible. Both of our head coaches today, of course, Sean Teeters for the Klamath Falls Falcons and Coach Gunner here for the Salem Dodgers. Also want to thank BG Gould for sharing a press press box with us, and Jeff Weiss for giving us access here to this box this afternoon at Harry and David Field. And thanks to you for joining us for another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons baseball. Like I said, back tomorrow afternoon for a 4:30 first pitch. But until then, for my partner Walter Hartley, my name is Josh Eldridge. Have a great rest of your Friday afternoon. So long and good night from Harry and David Field.